All right, let's dive in. Tonight, we're piecing together the story of a single chaotic night that almost got completely lost to the records, a night we now call the Lost Session. What kicked off as a pretty straightforward mission, well, it spiraled into something way, way darker. So, picture this. The city is basically fallen apart. The power grid is shot, there are constant blackouts, sanitation workers are on strike, the whole place is a mess. And you know, a city in chaos like that, it's the perfect playground for things that thrive in the dark.
And right in the middle of all this, you've got our crew, this small team of vampires, a coterie. Their mission? Hunt down some spies from a rival clan. The problem is, to even start, they have to walk right into enemy territory and try to cut a deal with their biggest political rivals, the Anarchs. No pressure, right?
Now, the mission seems clear enough on the surface, but as we're about to see, the spies and the political games, they quickly become the least of their worries. The real horror of the night wasn't an external enemy. It was something breaking out from the inside. Okay, so the night's first big event is this incredibly tense meeting. Our coterie needs a favor from the Anarchs, but they're walking in with basically zero leverage. This is going to be tough. The whole negotiation is pretty much a standoff from the get-go. See, our team just needs permission to hunt in Anarch territory. But for the Anarch leader, Angela, it's all about power. She has to look like she's in complete control. She's not just going to hand over the keys to the kingdom, you know? And these are the folks at the table. On our team, you've got Matt, the diplomatic Kalinda, and the very intimidating Undertaker. And staring them down from across the table are the Anarch leaders, Angela and her muscle, Cherie, who, by the way, really, really does not like Kalinda's kind. And yet, that tension wasn't just political, it was super personal. We know for a fact that insults were flying back and forth. This whole meeting was on a knife's edge right from the very start. And then, things just go completely off the rails. Out of absolutely nowhere, Matt has this episode. He starts screaming things like, "Is he here? Is this a trick?" and tries to charge the Anarchs. It gets so bad, the Undertaker has to literally grab him and tuck him under his arm like a football to stop a full-on brawl. This is our first major red flag that something is seriously wrong tonight. So somehow, despite that little outburst, Kalinda manages to pull a deal out of the fire. They get permission to hunt, but, and it's a big but, there are some serious strings attached. They have to report everything to the Anarchs before their own boss, and they get saddled with a new contact. It's a win, sure, but a really messy one. Now, with that fragile deal in hand, you'd think the team would regroup, right? Plan their next move together? Nope. Instead, basic needs and personal wants just immediately scatter them to the winds. First, you've got Joshua. He is dangerously hungry. So hungry, in fact, that he doesn't trust himself to be around anyone. So he bails on any more meetings and just texts Matt for a blood bag. For him, right now, it is purely about survival. Then there's Zane. He's also feeling that hunger, and he decides to go hunt for a meal on the local college campus. Stefan, ever the responsible one, gets a bad feeling and decides to tag along, kind of like a concerned chaperone. That's a decision he's going to regret. And then, in a totally different lane, you have the Undertaker and Kalinda. With a rare quiet moment to themselves, he actually asks her on a date. To his place, to watch a movie. And to probably everyone's surprise, she says yes. It's this one calm moment in a night that's just full of chaos. So we have these three separate threads running: desperate hunger, a risky hunt, and even a little bit of romance. And guess what? They are all about to collide in the exact same place, Portland State University, with sunrise just a few hours away. So Matt shows up, ever the reliable guy, to drop off the blood bag for Joshua. And you gotta love this detail from the source material. He's carrying this life-saving bag of blood inside a pink Voodoo Donuts box. A perfectly normal thing to see in Portland. But this little reunion is anything but friendly. Zane is there, bragging about how well his own hunt went. And Joshua, who is just incredibly irritable from hunger, hangry is the perfect word for it, just snaps back with a sarcastic "congratulations" and tries to leave. You can just feel how frayed everyone's nerves are. And this is where all that tension just boils over into a full-blown catastrophe, one that threatens to expose their entire secret world to mortals. All of a sudden, Zane completely loses his mind. He starts screaming at Matt about some musician named DJ Phoenix, yelling this bizarre line about chasing vampire geese instead of your passion. It's a total public psychological meltdown, just like Matt's earlier, only this time it's so much worse. The team's reaction is just pure, panicked damage control. Zane is hysterical, and then this is the real crisis. He starts crying tears of blood. That is a massive, massive risk, a potential breach of the masquerade, the one law that keeps them hidden. Matt reacts instantly, grabbing Zane to hide his face, while Stefan just shoves them all into his Escalade to get the hell out of there before anyone sees. And what about Joshua, the guy they were all there to help? He offers to help, but when Matt says they've got it, he doesn't stick around. He just leaves. It's a cold move, but in their world, sometimes self-preservation is all that matters. So as the car speeds away and the first hints of dawn are around the horizon, this weird, uneasy quiet falls over everyone. The immediate crisis might be over, but you just know nothing has been solved. So this is where the night leaves them. Stefan drops a shaken Zane and a worried Matt off at Zane's place. Joshua makes it back to his own haven, all alone. The Undertaker and Kalinda get their quiet moment before sunrise, and all the while, outside, the city is still broken, still dark. And that's the question that hangs over everything. You have two members of the same team suffering nearly identical, completely bizarre mental breakdowns in the same night. Is that just a coincidence? It feels really unlikely. The real takeaway from this lost session isn't about the politics or the spies. It's a terrifying idea that a new war might have already started, and the first battlefield is inside their own heads.